2022, what a year it has been. Some amazing highlights, both in my running, I feel personally, but also generally on the channel. I'm going to try and share some of them in today's video. There's too many to mention them all. But a bit later on, I'll break down how I got on with my 2022 goals and also just a few things I want to pick out from this year. Before we get into that, do let me know in the comments below what's been your greatest achievement for the year. And also, if you're new to the channel, do consider subscribing. It's free and it also really helps to support the channel. So my first goal of 2022, my big one, was to run my first 50-mile ultra, and I managed to do that back in May. So it was the North Downs Way 50, organised by Centurion Running, around 5,500 feet of elevation, but a really well organised event. I've got my medal here for it, and it's probably my favourite medal as well. So they don't mess around with their medals, Centurion, they're nice and chunky. But yeah, it went great, really well. I thought I'd look back at some of the footage I took from that day here. So let's have a look. Yeah, I thought we'd jump in straight at the moment where it was getting tough, about 46 miles in. Well, I say the moment where it was getting tough. It was tough before this, but this was, yeah, this was the point where I was really flagging.
I've been going for 8 hours. Not a length of time.
Yeah, you can tell when I'm flagging when the hats come off.
It's just very odd, but I don't know what I'm saying actually. Yeah, I don't really have anything to say.
Yeah, I had this in a couple of races this year where I tried to say something to camera and then realised I didn't know what I was talking about.
Right, we're in Knockout Bound, not far from the finish. It's got to be a few minutes to go somewhere.
Look on my face there. Pretty terrible camera work here actually. Yeah, what is that? What am I filming there? Yeah, I've got to get better at this. With longer races, when I finish them, you know, kind of all thoughts of filming tend to go out the window and then it's just kind of moving around. Oh, and I remember then we had our photos taken about maybe 5 minutes or so after we finished, which I think is a good move by Centurion. They don't photograph you right as you come over the line. Otherwise, I would have still been doing that face where I was like, ah. But instead, yeah, as you can see, I could compose myself and pretend I wasn't in so much pain, which was good. But yeah, really proud of that overall. Really pleased with it. And yeah, especially because I'd set a number of goals for the day, an A, B and C goal. My A goal was to come out with sub 9 hours and managed to come out in 8:40, so really pleased with that. Things just went very smoothly. I had that little trick I was using there, which I got from Dan Runs, about getting the splits of the aid stations for someone who'd run the time that you're aiming for in previous years. So I just found someone who'd done sub 9 in previous years. I'd seen what like checkpoints they'd got into at what time, and then I just had those next to me, and I could see for every checkpoint that I was slightly ahead, and that gave me a kind of boost of confidence. So yeah, very pleased with that, and coming in top 20 for my first 50 miler, when there was some really solid experienced runners there, very pleased with. So that was my first goal of the year, to complete a 50-mile ultra, and as I said, that happened back in May, the first one. I also went on to do a second 50-miler this year, so the Copthorne 50, which was definitely my toughest race of the year. So with over 10,000 feet of elevation, it was a looped course, 2,000 feet per loop, lots of steps in there. So yeah, tough day out, that one, but I was very pleased to get that one done too. The second goal I had on my list was to complete a 5k PB. So prior to 2022, my 5k PB was 1946, but I hadn't really done any specific training towards a 5k previously. So this year I had a short training block, and then I did my 5k PB at my local park run, and I managed to come out in 18:37, so knocking about a minute off my previous time, so really happy with that. Off the back of that 5k PB, although it wasn't on my list, I then went on to target the 10k, and I had a couple of tricky weeks in the lead up to that where I didn't do too much running because I got COVID. But at the Brighton Phoenix 10k, so my running club's local 10k event, managed to get sub 40, so very, very happy with that. And I feel there is more to go, more that I could knock off that potentially if I had a better training block in the lead up to it. But I'll have to see, you know, is that something I want to pursue in the future, doing a better 10k time. The other thing I did this year, which wasn't on my list of goals, was I signed up to a running club, and it's one of the best things that I've done for my running. So the club I'm part of, Brighton Phoenix, been going along to track sessions here and there and some group runs. I haven't been along in a good while, but I found it really useful this year for getting the legs used to speed, getting used to doing drills, and also just having the camaraderie and being able to chat with other people and hear their expertise and their knowledge and their experience. So I would highly recommend it. If you're not part of a running club, it's such a great thing to do for your running. Okay, let's have a look. What else was on my list? Complete a mile time trial. I never got round to this in the end. There was no point in the year where I thought, okay, I can dedicate some time to doing more kind of sharp, speedier stuff over shorter distance. It's something that I might carry on into next year, so as a kind of carryover goal, but I'll see. But yeah, that was something I didn't get onto. Get to know more trails around Sussex, bit of a general target there, but I certainly did that. So got to know more of the South Downs Way and explored some of the coast path too. More back-to-back long runs, definitely had that as a result of my 50-mile training plans, where I was doing longer runs back-to-back, sometimes at the weekend, sometimes weekday evenings. And then more group runs. This is one that I've been really pleased with. So I've run more with Brighton Phoenix, my running club, with the vegan runners, the local group I'm part of. And then also just organising runs more informally, you know, meeting up with friends, different groups of people. Did a fundraiser run earlier this year for Sands charity, and again that was a group run, at least for the latter part of it. So yeah, lots of group runs in there, which I'm definitely wanting to carry over into 2023. So the other thing that I've recorded on the channel is not just my own running, but also Carla's running too. And her big goal at the start of this year was to complete her first marathon. She's now done 3 of those, so she's well and truly smashed that target, but her first one she feels was her biggest achievement this year, the Brighton Trail Marathon. So we're going to have a look at that here in a second. Okay, you ready? Should we have a look? Oh yeah, it's packed on the start line, wasn't it?
Yeah. I always look like a doofus.
I think you look cool. Very cool.
Right, so about 20 miles in, 20 and a half miles to be specific. Just come to the top of probably the longest climb on the whole route. How are you getting on, Carla? How are you feeling?
Tough. I just don't think it's been my day today, but I'm just trying to battle through it and just keep going.
Doing really well to keep going, like in spite of all of the stomach issues you've had with things not settling.
Was this when we saw the person that
about
to throw
miles
up?
to go.
Yeah,
Oh, shit.
yeah. So actually, yeah, a couple of miles from the finish. Oh,
Oh,
there.
there.
Are you right there? Okay. Do you need anything? All right.
Oh, this is not far to go, is it? 1.5 miles or something?
Right. Last bit. Final push.
Oh, this bit I remember. This is really nice where it kind of, you've got a mile to go and then you're out into the light, out of the forest.
It was the most longest finish ever. I thought it was really nice though. This is my favourite finish ever, I think. But I did feel it being really long.
Carla, you're the best, man. You did it.
Right, you got this last push, last bit.
Oh, it's Valentina there. So Valentina is part of the same running club, and also Carla used to work with her, but she's amazing cheerleader for Carla and her running. And there's Chris back there, there's Dan.
Last bit, push.
What did this feel like?
Never end. No, this bit was when I realised I was really happy at this point, but then I didn't know what to do. I really wanted to celebrate, and you see me being a bit indecisive, like in a bit if I put my arms up or not, and it was a bit like.
Oh, the bit coming up.
Yeah. It's like I really wanted to celebrate, but I was like, shall I? Oh yeah. Yeah, I remember this bit being a bit emotional.
Oh, then you get the t-shirt.
Yeah, I really like the t-shirt actually. Oh, this was nice, seeing everyone at the end. Like, yeah, that was really special, that bit.
Oh, Valentina's so proud. Thumbs up from Dan. Yeah, what's it like to look back at?
I've seen it like a few times. Like, I think it's nice to look back at. I think obviously you don't realise, when you look back at something, you don't realise, you forget like the amount of pain that you were in.
Yeah, you kind of romanticise it afterwards, don't you?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, maybe it's not so bad. Maybe I could sign up to some more. So coming up on the channel next year, Carla's going to be doing her first ultra, and I'll be covering that as well. So in June. So do keep an eye out for that. I'll be there on the day filming bits and recording her getting to 50k for the first time.
I think it's just a bonus if I actually just don't get lost, and
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
So it finishes in Brighton. So if Carla ends up back in Brighton at the end, that will be the real goal. Yeah. So that concludes the 2022 Time on Feet review. And I just wanted to say a massive thank you to everyone who has liked, commented, subscribed, supported the channel in any way. Really, really much appreciated. In the next couple of weeks, I'll be sharing plans for next year in terms of what's coming up on the channel, but also my own running goals. But in the meantime, have a good week, enjoy your running, and I'll see you all in the next one.